Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today I wanted to just have a quick chat about kind of the story that I've developed around Silver Mountain that I usually put to clients. It's maybe not a story so much as a narrative overall, and there is a slight difference between the two, even if it's not overly pronounced. Um, and a lot of the reason why I want to talk about this and just run through it is because I get a lot of questions in regards to my logo, or why Silver Mountain, or am I a mountain climbing coach, which no, I'm not. But the reason for the name, both me being the man on the Silver Mountain, thank you phone, and my company being Silver Mountain Coaching, um, ultimately comes from a Hammerfall song. If you don't know Hammerfall, it's a Viking metal band. Go look them up; they're awesome. But during the time that I was doing my coaching and doing my qualifications, and then moving into doing things for myself, it kind of became a song that sat very well with me anyway. Or it was a song that sat with me very well anyway. But also the lyrics very much seemed to describe a coach, someone who was on the mountain, who was helping people find their way to the top, making sure that they were okay, and being very much a powerful and recurring supporting character, as opposed to the main hero. I don't know whether or not that's what was intended when they wrote the song or not, but it's what I took away from it. And I realised that I don't believe that they were the ones that actually wrote the song in the first place. I believe it was a cover overall from sometime much further in the past, 60s, 70s, something like that. But I first came across the song through Hammerfall, so that's where it is in my head. Um, but as a result, thinking about that, thinking, okay, well, I much prefer to be Obi-Wan Kenobi than Luke Skywalker, just as long as, hopefully Darth Vader doesn't kill me at the end. Oh, spoilers, by the way, if you haven't already seen Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? Um, but um, but then it was a case of, okay, so if I am putting myself in the role of the supporting character that's sat there helping people find their way, then why are people climbing up the mountain? How can I frame that for people, so that they can put themselves in the story as the hero? How can, if you're the hero and I'm just there to help you find your way up the mountain, what are you going to the top of the mountain for? I had to think about this, and I'm a fan of games. I'm a fan of fantasy. I play D&D. It's not a foreign. The fantasy genre isn't a foreign concept to me, and it was like, well, why does anyone climb a mountain? What did the why were the dwarves and the hobbits going up a mountain to find a way inside it? You go up a mountain to kill a dragon, or to tame a dragon, or to make a deal with a dragon, or to steal its gold, or whatever. There's always a dragon at the top of the mountain, or somewhere within the vicinity of said mountain, for you to get up to and do something with. The dragon is the goal. And so, the more that I got into that idea, the more that I framed things that way to people that I was working with. People picked it up. There's a reason why Game of Thrones is a really successful series. People like the big sweeping fantasy stories. And so, if between myself and whoever it is that I'm working with, we can sit down and go, okay, so you're the hero. There's the dragon at the top. What's the dragon protecting? Why are you going there? If you write the story between you, and it develops into a game plan, so that we've got the story now, you just have to follow the steps in the story. And if there are a couple of hurdles that you don't quite make, or whatever else, then that just makes it a more interesting story, right? Just, it's not a difficult and desperate situation. It's you've got a challenge. You got to get up the mountain. The mountain's the challenge, and then you got the big challenge at the top, be it a dragon to ride, a princess to save, some gold to plunder. That's kind of immaterial, because the strength that you gain through the journey is much more important. But then, what happens when you get to the end of the journey? What happens when you get to the top of the mountain? You're riding the dragon. You've saved the princess. You've saved the prince. You've walked off with as many bags of gold as you could possibly carry. Everyone in the land knows your name. Then what? Well, then there's always another mountain to climb. And so you do the whole thing all over again. It's just if you're going to take it in game terms, the first dragon was level 5 and the next one's level 20. And you just keep moving up, and you keep finding your new objective, you keep finding your new dragon to fight, your new mountain to climb, and you just keep doing it. And that's one of the and when I've done this with people, they've firstly appreciated sounding like they're some badass dragon slayer, but also they've because you've got this fantastical situation that has an element of truth into it. It's something that people can buy into a bit better, or at least I've found. Lots of coaches will do visualization where they'll sit you down, they get you to close your eyes, relax, and all the rest of it, and then they'll start asking you questions and talking you about where you see yourself in 5 years. What does it look like? What does it smell like? And the thing is, I always found that personally, I always found that to be both helpful in a sense, but also not helpful when I was in a bad place, because all of the things that I'm coming up with, all of the perceptions may very well be realistic, but they will also be, at least to a degree, negative. I will be limiting myself in what I'm suggesting, because firstly realism, and secondly because, oh well, where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, I'm going to try all of these other things, but I'm probably going to end up as a manager in a retail store doing whatever else. That's the answer that I would have given 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that. I would have been like, oh well, I'll try getting more of my writing published. I'll try making videos. I'll try putting people together within environments and wherever else. I'll do some game development. I'll do this, that, and the other. I'll try whatever I can try, and they'd be like, okay, so well, I'm being a bit over the top. I'll probably end up like up the chain in some retail firm. I may not have said all of that, but it's what would have gone round in my head. Whilst, what's not to like about a story about a badass going up and taking on a dragon? I don't see a downside. But as a result, if you've got that laid out in front of you and everything is analogous for, you're the hero, the people that you have around you are your supporting cast. The challenges along the way are your phone going off during a video, and other such difficult situations to overcome, like whether or not you need resources and other things. If everything like has an equivalent in the real world, then if your fantastical hero in shining armor climbing the mountain and beating the dragon can do it, then compared to that fantastical situation, your situation is a lot simpler, right? You don't need to take on a fire-breathing dragon. Something tells me that's, if you can in some way take on a dragon and win, then you can definitely get your book published, or lose weight, or stop smoking, or improve your work-life balance, or anything. And so, that's where I wanted to just throw that out there, because I know that when I've been talking to people, they've got, oh yeah, nice logo. But where's there a dragon on it? Or again, they've not really understood why I work for a company called Silver Mountain Coaching instead of Seb Tudor Coaching. And it's just like, because I don't think my name, in terms of the company name kind of thing, I don't, as much as, yeah, Seb Tudor, it's not the worst name to have, but at the same time, my name doesn't apply to everyone's life. My name does not, and really should not, be like implanted into every story that I interact with, be that a real one or a fantastical analogy for the challenges ahead of someone. You know, I'd much prefer that they climb the Silver Mountain than not, and that they I prefer that they go up and take on the dragon at the top instead of sitting in a room with Seb. Because whilst I'd like to think that sitting in a room with Seb isn't that bad, I feel like killing a dragon, or at the very least giving it a high five, jumping on its back and flying onto the next mountain, I feel like that's more badass. Feel free to disagree, but if you do, then what's wrong with you? I'm not that great by any means. Dragons are awesome. But yeah, so the thing that I'd like to leave you with is that, again, stories are important. They're very important to me, and they're the story that I try to use has me being your Obi-Wan Kenobi, as it were, or any other kind of supporting kind of character that helps you find your way. I don't see myself as anything beyond that. I wouldn't want to be anything beyond that. And yeah, a question I want to leave you guys with: what would your dragon be? What's the thing in life at the moment that you would be climbing up that mountain to get? What would your mountain look like? What would be the challenges to overcome along the way? But yeah, anyway, if you found this interesting, leave us a like and a comment down below. And yeah, if you're interested in more videos like this, then please check out what I've done in the past and subscribe for more. Take care, guys.